Welcome to International Film Festival Etiuda&Anima. My name is Paulina Pikiewicz and I will be moderator of today's panel. We are pleased to guest Ozan Mermer, director of Etiuda short movie Reina. Welcome, Ozan.
Hi, thank you
Hi.
for having me.
I really enjoyed your movie, and I have so many questions to you. So I hope that we will have enough time to hear your answers on this question. First of all, I would like to ask you because you are a director who was born and raised in Berlin. Your roots are Turkish and French, and yet you decided to present us a story of a Mexican girl, Lola, who is waiting forward her birthday, which is called Quinceañera in Mexico. Quinceañera is 15th birthday, which is really important in Mexico because it's something like a rite of passage in Mexico. So why did you decide to locate your story in Mexico? Why not Germany, France, or Turkey?
Yeah, I was born in Germany, and this is why I also studied in a German film school in the HFF in Munich. And at some point, I decided to do an exchange here. I wanted to study documentary filmmaking abroad because in Munich I studied fiction directing, and I wanted to see something new. So I decided to go to a very cool film school called CCC in Mexico City. And then I stayed in total 4 years in Mexico because I fell in love with the country, with the culture, and I started to work in an NGO. And in that NGO, we had several projects dealing with human trafficking. One of these projects was an asylum for ex-minor prostitutes, and for a month they told me their stories, and at some point I decided to do my graduation movie for my German film school in Munich, in Mexico, because these stories really touched my heart, and I had the feeling, I felt the urge to share these stories, or one of these stories, to a broader audience.
Okay, thank you. So, do you think that no matter where a young girl is born, sooner or later, she will have to face Lola's fate? That young girl will have to, she will have to discover how it is, this relation between woman and man.
I mean, in Mexico, and in many other countries too, also in Turkey, where I'm from, but in many other countries in the so-called third or second world, I think you can find a dangerous mixture, dangerous combination of many things, like strong religious beliefs, strong tradition, machismo, and this makes a dangerous mix for young girls. And you can't find that dangerous mix, especially in Mexico and other Latin American countries. You don't find that in this kind of mixture in Germany or in the so-called first world. But I mean, we all know that girls of any ages in any country of this world, and women are faced with dangerous situations in everyday life. Only that this world of the narcos and the quinceañera, and how these two words combine or get combined, was interesting for me in Mexico, and this is why I wanted to do a movie about that particular place and that particular tradition, like the quinceañera.
Okay. Please tell us something more about this, how you were preparing your movie, because you were there because of your studies in Germany. But that was, I assume, completely different culture for you, completely new. So could you say something more about this? How did you come up on these stories, on this, how quinceañeras and narcos are connected to each other?
Okay, right. Please always feel free to stop me if you don't get my answer, because I think I have a lot of answers and maybe I get lost at some point. Then just stop me and repeat the question. But I will try to answer that very big question. But you pointed that out correctly. It is totally different place, and it was a new experience for me as a European, but also as a man, because I think once I got to Mexico and lived there for several years, I found out about my privileges as a man. I always had, always also in Europe, but I was not aware of them, not that much. And there's so much space, or I felt you had so much free space as a man in Mexico, which made me think, which made me realize that I have a lot of privileges. And I thought about these privileges day for day for day. And I found out that traditions like quinceañera, or even the world of the narcos, which is dominated, of course, by men, or like the extreme end of this world of privileges for us, a man. So I think this is why I started to work in an NGO like that. This is why I started to think about subjects like that, and this is why at the end I wanted to do a movie about that, to discover a little bit more where is tradition coming from and what is my role in that. I hope I could, answer your question.
Yeah, I think so. Thank you. Yeah, I wanted to ask you as well about this. Was it hard to find in casting a girl to the main character, Lola, who will play Lola character? Because I can imagine that for a girl to play this kind of role could be kind of danger in this environment. So how did you do that?
That was a very interesting process. It was the first time in my life that I did a process of a casting for several months. So invited a lot of actors for each role, and I had an amazing casting agent back then. She was an actress too, or she is still, and she knew a lot of actors and actresses. So she organized the whole thing because I didn't know anyone in Mexico, who would act. And she found a lot of very talented young girls who would apply for that role. And after some months, we had, in our eyes, the perfect Lola, and we wanted to start rehearsing with her, but like maybe 10 to 7 days before the shoot, she canceled the shoot, and we went for our second choice. Then we saw in our casting. She immediately accepted, and I was pretty lucky or happy that we could start our shoot. And then during the shoot, I found out that actually that girl, Paola Lara, is number one. Like, is the best character or the best actress who could fit into that role of Lola. So at the end, it was actually, I think, good for us, good for the movie that we could shoot with Paola. And she had no problems at all with these explicit situations. It was challenging for her mentally, and she had her mother and the casting agent Maria by her side, who helped her through, navigating through these very challenging and hard situations. but she was totally willing to go through that because she understood the story, and she understood also the importance of her being there and playing that part. She wanted to tell that story. She wanted to be a part of that story, and at no moment at all she questioned that.
So she felt that this story is really important also for her. And I just wanted to ask you, did she share with you some her personal stories about quinceañeras, and maybe her friends had the same situation as Lola has in the movie?
No, I think she's from part of society which is celebrating quinceañera, obviously, but in a way a better environment with more money. I think she's far away from this part of society where girls are sold by their own uncles or fathers or mothers. These kind of girls or families I got to know during my time in the NGO. So what I did was to share, like I shared most of the stories I heard or witnessed during my time at the NGO with her, so she could feel a little bit more into that world she never knew. Like in Mexico, I have the feeling the different classes, the different parts of society are strictly divided. So if you come from the upper class, you won't have access to.
Hello.
Hello. Could you wait a moment, because we still have a meeting with previous director Ozan, and we have to find him because we've lost him a bit.
Okay, I'll
So
be
see
back.
you later, okay? Thank you. Ozan, are you here? Can you hear us? We're really
Yeah, I can
sorry.
hear
We're
you.
really sorry. We were disconnected. You were saying about
That's fine.
Yeah, you were saying about divided society in Mexico. I don't know if you would like to continue that topic, or we
Actually,
can.
that was almost the end.
Okay.
Because at the end, I just said like that our actress Paola, because the society is so divided, doesn't have like the connection to a part of society of ex-minor prostitutes. That's what I said.
Okay, thank you. I just wanted to comment the title of your movie, which is Reina, which means in Spanish queen, and it's really interesting that you choose this title, because when we observe Lola, we can see her in pink dress and with golden shoes, so she's almost like a princess or like a queen, but still she's under protection of her uncle, who and she seems to be his property. So she can't be a queen. She cannot be an independent girl. And this is what I found it really interesting in your movie, and this is, I think, a punchline to your short movie.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's very true and smart what you just said, and I mean, you answered it better than I could now. But let me try to round it up a little bit. Yeah, of course, there's a double sense to that title, to that word, because as you also hear when she gets to the table of the narco boss. He tells Luz, the other girl, Reina, can you please bring us some drinks, this and that. So what you just pointed out and what I observed there is they make the girls feel like through quinceañeras or through other traditions, or just, empty words like queens, but actually they're totally not, and they're in the hands of their family, of their uncle, of a narco boss. So there's, a false freedom to that, and I think this is a very big part of machismo all over the world. We give people, or sometimes women, a lot of things, a new car, we buy them this and that, but actually it's not an expression of generosity or love. Is a way to keep them incarcerated, to keep them at our side. And yeah, this is what I saw also in this word Reina, and this is why I used it.
Thank you for your answers. Just last answer before we will finish our conversation. I just wanted to ask you, are you planning to come back to Mexico one day?
Yeah, I mean, I totally miss it, and I think I have now a fourth identity in me. I already had three, and it was already enough, but now I have a Mexican identity too. And so I have to go back, but I really have to say the last year of these four has been very tough, and I'm just happy to be at a place I know, like Germany. So I need a break from Mexico. Mexico needs a break from me, I guess, too. And so maybe next year I will go back.
Okay, thank you, Ozan. So thank you. That was our conversation with director of Reina, which you will be chance to see on ETIUDA competition on the International Film Festival Etiuda&Anima. Thank you.
Thank you so much for these nice questions and for the nice time with you.
Thank you. Bye. Thank you.